I got this ring right here, sir.
Yep.
If I handed it to you right now, nobody knows I'm wearing it. Could you give it back to her? It's her father's.
Yeah, I would do that, man. I'm not here to make your life any worse.
Who's that for?
It's Whitney's.
Let me grab a, put it in an envelope.
I just want you to give it back to her, sir. I'm asking you to. It ain't gotta be.
To be honest, I think it shows that you're a decent guy.
Friends, today's skid mark is Jason Padgett. In April 2010, Aaden Batista was found unresponsive in his bedroom. The injuries he received were so severe, you're gonna be shocked. But the world must know his story. Police then bring in Jason for questioning after Aaden was rushed to the hospital. Jason is the boyfriend to Aiden's mother, Whitney. I'll come back at the end to tell you the conclusion. Brace yourselves.
Tell what happened, okay? Because he didn't fall from a toilet, okay?
Did you ask that
I'll
little
show
girl
you
what happened
porno
up there?
pictures with
Yep, we talked to
massive
her.
hemorrhaging. Massive hemorrhaging.
I don't want
So deep into the brain that it's physically impossible. Not to mention, he had a torn anus, and his penis was black and blue from someone ripping at it.
No.
How does that happen
That
from a
damn sure
fall?
wasn't for me.
Because
See,
That damn.
you're
I didn't know all
also
that.
charged with sexual battery on
Are
a
you
child.
serious?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's part of the charges.
Yeah.
That's part of the medical findings. Is besides the massive head injury was damage to his
Mutilation to
From how I'm saying the damage to his anus from when though? In general, just in general.
Well, the penis was fresh. You could see there was
Damn
some.
sure I ain't do that, sir. I
No.
don't mess with no little kids' penis.
Okay.
I'm not no fat.
But you see where we're coming from
Yeah,
right
I do
now.
actually.
Okay,
I do.
we have a
I
kid.
didn't know all
with,
that.
Yeah, we have a kid with a major head injury.
Okay, so where are they saying the head injury came from? They don't know. I mean, I'm not saying
well,
they don't
you're
know.
telling me it came from him
I know,
giving
I know
his
that.
head.
They can't say how it happened.
Oh, I know that. I know.
But they can't say how it couldn't have happened.
Okay.
Okay. They can say it did not happen by a simple fall. Okay.
Man,
It's physically
but I'm
impossible.
I'm nowhere near the only person that watches this kid though. Like as far as that other
Okay.
shit, man, I ain't do no shit like that.
But
That's
once this
crazy
kid
shit.
was hurt, there would have been no telling that he was hurt. There would have been no mistaking that he was hurt. Okay. Like you said, he cried for 15 minutes. Has he ever cried for 15 minutes before?
Yeah.
Okay. But like I said, all this together, okay, when they did the medical exam, I said they found the damage to the genitals, okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And the
That
damage
makes me
head.
look really bad, man.
But you see what I'm saying? All this it comes together,
But what
and it makes you look really bad.
Yeah, it does.
It makes you look like a real monster.
It does.
Okay? It looks
Yeah,
like
I know.
it looks like the kid was tortured. That's what it looks like.
Remember
Okay.
when we put you in
Damn,
the
wow.
car and I said people are either going to draw conclusions from the evidence and think you're a monster, or you can tell us the truth. And I know it's not as bad as what people are going to make it out to be,
Hell no,
but
man.
you did more than that.
Okay.
And
I swear I didn't, man. He was upstairs for an hour, but I don't want to put that on no little 13-year-old girl, man.
Yeah.
you already confirmed when I talked to you the first time that kid
I'm
came
talking
back
about his
fine.
nuts and all. I didn't change his diaper.
I'm
He was in
talking.
the
Well,
shower.
you gave him a
Yeah,
bath.
he wasn't bruised
He's
up.
naked in the
Yeah.
bath. How did you not see it on his genitals?
He wasn't when Whitney had him at the hospital.
How did you not see it in the bath?
Okay,
You
listen
gave
to me.
him a
Hold
bath,
on,
correct?
hold on. You like to do that. That's not necessary.
Wait. How did you not see
Okay,
his
you gonna
bruised
listen
penis?
when me and Whitney took him to the hospital and they stripped this child down. This child didn't have a bruise on his penis. This child didn't have a red mark on his thigh. This child didn't have anything wrong with him. So if there wasn't nothing wrong
He
with
was
his
life flighted to Arnold Palmer
no, you're not.
in
I'm not
grave
talking about.
condition.
I'm not
How
talking
could you
about his
say he
head
had
injury,
no?
sir. Please, man. Like I know I can say.
Wait, how
I
did
don't
he
wanna
get the
talk-
head injury? How did he get the head injury?
I told you how he got the head injury, sir. What I'm saying, listen. You're talking about. I am talking about his injuries to his testicles and his ass, sir. When we took him to the hospital and they took his clothes off him and put him in the thing.
How would you see his anus? Did you?
I'm not talking about his anus. I'm talking about his. Didn't I just come on? What? Like I want to sit here and talk to you guys. I know all I got to say, like you said, is I don't want to talk anymore, and I go back there. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we're
But
here for you.
But what I'm saying to you is, when he was stripped naked on that hospital bed at Holmes,
You weren't even there. You left because you said you were afraid of getting arrested.
What?
You left the hospital. You left Whitney
Aren't
at
you the
the
person?
hospital.
Aren't you the person that knocked on the window?
Hold
Home,
on.
sir. Home.
Did
You're not
you
listening to
leave?
me.
Did you leave
Why
Holmes
does he wanna
Regional
listen to me?
Hospital?
When did you leave the hospital?
When you knocked on the car window, sir, you woke me up from sleep in
No.
the car.
Did you leave before that?
No, I did not.
You were not.
I went outside
wait,
to smoke
hold
a
on.
cigarette.
Did you have to be called back to the hospital?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I went to smoke a cigarette into the store to get her something to drink, or so I asked if she wanted anything. All I had was a food stamp card.
So Chris Plum's lying?
About what? That was at 4 o'clock in the morning after you, sir. Yes, it was. I've talked to Chris. Yesterday.
Yeah, we know you talked to Chris. He told us you told him what to say.
I told him what to say.
Yes. I'm telling you, man, you think these people are your friends?
No,
They
sir.
think you're a monster.
No, sir.
I'm just being straight with you, Jason.
Okay.
All right? I told you, I'm not sitting here at 2 a.m. lying to you that Chris
Okay.
Plum told us that.
When you backed out of my house at 3:30 in the morning, I went up to Chris's house
Yep,
and knocked on
I
his
know
door.
that. That's what he
I
told
did not leave the hospital and go anywhere. You can ask the black security guard. He's the one that see me walking back from across the street. I was by Circles of Care. I was just walking around smoking a cigarette. I did not leave and go back to the house. I did not say, "Oh, I'm leaving the hospital because I don't want to get arrested." Because if I was afraid if I was afraid I was going to get arrested, when they called me back,
Did
I
you
wouldn't have
ever
came back.
say that you were afraid of being arrested? To anyone?
Oh, of course I was like, man, I know they're going to try to take me to jail for this.
Why, if it's an accident?
Because Whitney called me on the phone and was like, "Hey, baby, they're saying, what'd you do to my baby? They're saying that what you
Yeah,
said."
but that wasn't... When was that?
The day I left. I was still there when she called me on the phone. I was
So
at
where?
Arnold Palmer Hospital at the Ronald McDonald House. She calls me on the phone screaming, telling me to come meet her. I come around the corner and she comes screaming, "Oh, you killed my baby, Jason. Tell me what you did." I was like, "Man, don't say that. Don't accuse me of that." Because they're going to say, okay, well, they're going to say that I killed your baby and they're going to want to take me to jail. You out here screaming all that shit, man. I'm not no murderer. I'm not a murderer.
Have
man.
you ever struck him in the head?
No.
Okay. We have 5 witnesses saying that they have seen you close fist punch him in the head, slap him in the face, drag him across the parking lot,
That's a lie.
twist his ear,
That's a lie.
strike him, throw him off a scooter, and then hit him with it.
Just so you know, Chris is his neighbor that lives upstairs. Amber is a friend who was visiting that day. I did make a true crime video that goes into more detail, so why don't you finish this video, click the link in the description and you can watch that video also. Some nuances etc. that are not touched upon in this video.
That's a lie.
Okay, listen to me. He's not lying. Okay,
Yes,
people,
he's got to be.
listen to me.
Everyone's lying.
Listen
but
to
you.
me. People have said that. Okay?
Well, the
Okay,
only, listen,
can I talk to you?
The only time that scooter is ever at my house is when my 3 sons are there. I got a 9-year-old son that will tell you I
So the
never
rest
did
is
that.
true, but the scooter's not?
None of it's true.
Yeah, listen to me. This is what people said. Okay? He's speaking the truth. I mean, we had detectives out there all day doing stuff. People were coming up and telling us that. Okay?
I talked to
Now, okay,
a bunch of people. I know.
okay. Now listen to me. So we have that, all that stuff. Okay? Making you look bad. Okay? I'm not saying I'm taking sides. I don't believe anybody right now. Okay?
Everybody's took a side already.
Okay. Well, let me talk. Okay?
Because we don't have your
Okay. Now, listen to me. We have that, okay? And like I said, we have these injuries, okay? Now, with the genitals and the rear end part, I'm still not decided what that means yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
listen to
not
me.
man.
But there was enough evidence because of his injuries to charge you with the sexual battery, okay? Okay, so you're the only one with them. And then we have a head injury, which the medical examiner said that there's no way it could have caused by a simple fall, okay? Now we got all these things building up against you, okay? Now, the general parts, debatable. What people say, debatable, okay? Because that's people talking. People talk. What's not debatable is the head injury, okay? What I'm trying to get is that if we don't have the whole truth about that,
Like I
Okay.
sit here and I'm trying to run back everything that happened that day that I could have possibly done to injure that child's head like that, man, and I can't come up with a single
Okay.
thing.
But see what I'm trying to say here is that, okay, I'm willing to give you on some of these things, okay? Because there's a long way between somebody, you know, I had kids, when some things happen that shouldn't happen because you get angry, and when somebody tortures a child, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like,
I don't think you're the type that would torture a child, okay? Just by talking to you, you
I got
know.
kids, sir.
Okay, I understand. And we talked to your ex-wife, see how you treat those boys, you know, DCS has talked to them. We see how you treat your boys, okay? You don't seem like the type that would torture a young child, okay? Okay? And that's what I'm trying to work with you here on that, okay? Maybe you don't deserve all these charges because you got 5 different charges on you because of the damage to his body, okay? See what I'm saying?
But one thing I know about the state of Florida, sir, is nothing I tell you or anybody else is going to make a difference. When I get in the courtroom with all this stuff y'all are saying, they're going to hang me.
Okay, but what if we can explain part of it?
Just be honest. And if you made a mistake and you had a temporary lapse in judgment and snap and said, look, I punched him. All right. Well, it doesn't make it look like you punched him 10 times because he had 10 hemorrhages in his head. Okay, just be honest, man. You screwed up, you made a mistake, and we got the evidence. We're not saying you're a bad dad, okay? No one said you're a bad dad, to be honest. I don't think you set out that day and said, I'm killing Aaden. For whatever reason, I don't know what the trigger was, but something happened that day.
Nothing.
You didn't mention to me that you were smoking marijuana.
You didn't ask.
Well, come on, man. You didn't mention Amber and Tim came over.
I forgot.
You conveniently leave out
I just
details.
forgot. So you got to understand, you woke me up out of my sleep at 3:30 in the morning.
But you conveniently told me every single detail about the bath and the slipping and the toothbrush.
I forgot about
you knew
Tim
that
and
those
Amber.
details.
That shit wasn't nothing, man. They were
But to be
outside.
honest, I could give a shit less about weed. Okay, I don't care. I'm worried about a kid that was beaten to death. No, what bothers me the most is the ME said that if he got immediate medical treatment, he would have survived. At that time, you were up playing Xbox in Chris Plum's apartment.
Actually, I was in my apartment, so I was showing him how to play my Xbox.
Well, we have witnesses seeing you go up to that
That's what I'm
apartment
saying.
twice for 20 minutes.
We're not
saying long.
No. Okay,
And I'm not saying you did drugs those times.
I-
I'm not saying you did drugs those times.
Okay.
You went up, it was something to do with a game, right? He was showing you how to do something with a game.
I was showing him how to do something with the game. With the same thing.
You know, and this reiterates that what I'm telling you, you know I'm not lying. You know that Chris was honest with me and told me, because if you're agreeing, then obviously I'm telling the truth.
Well, I talked to Chris on the phone yesterday and said not to be rude, but he said you were a dickhead.
Actually,
and that you tried your best to get him to say whatever it was that you wanted him to say, and he told you straight up he wasn't in the apartment and he didn't have nothing to do with it.
That's funny because I didn't talk to him yesterday.
No, he talked to me yesterday and said he talked to him the day before.
Well, you know what? I am a dick when a 2-year-old gets beaten. I am a dick.
He said you kept accusing him and saying he was going to be an accessory or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you know,
I'm just going by what he said.
When you protect someone and a person like yourself that uses intimidation on people, you know, that's what happens. People do lie. Because everyone that I've talked to seems to say you can go from 0 to 10 like that. And I think that's what happened to Aaden. Something pissed you off and you went from 0 to 10. And
what
you
could
can't
a 22-month-old child that can't even speak piss me off?
Nothing but something, because he's in a freezer right now in the ME's office. So something happened. Do you not disagree with that something happened?
Yes, sir.
How is he dead? You tell me. You were the only one else in that apartment by your own statement. So tell me.
When I was in the apartment with Aaden, I didn't do anything to him, sir.
So the bath didn't
The
happen.
only time that child was awake and out of my sight was maybe for an hour and a half when he went upstairs. That's it. Maybe 45
Just out
minutes.
of precaution, why didn't you just call the rescue? Just get him checked out. He fell. He slipped on the tub.
My kids do.
He looks fine, but can you just check his vitals? Just check him over. I want to make sure he's all right.
My kids fall all the time, sir. I never thought
He
nothing of it.
drowned in blood in his head. He drowned in his own blood.
He was like my son
I believe you loved him,
to death.
but I think something upset you. And unfortunately, you know, we have statements from people saying you were screaming at him, saying, I told you to go to bed, go to sleep. And then all you hear is crying for 15 minutes and you yelling. Come on, man. We got multiple statements from people saying that. Is that a lie?
Yes, sir. How can they say?
I'm telling
Hold on,
you,
I understand
don't ask me questions back. Okay, well,
I didn't kill this kid.
Who gave him massive brain hemorrhages?
Wasn't me, sir. I mean,
Who tore his anus?
how can I?
Who gave him
I have a question.
hepatitis C?
I don't have hepatitis C.
Well, someone gave him it.
Cool, 'cause I ain't got that. So now what?
When's the last time you went to the doctor?
I just got out of prison, sir.
How
And I
long
haven't been
ago?
sleeping with nobody but my baby's mother. And
Would you
Whitney.
be willing to take a test for hepatitis C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. And if
When
I
did
don't
you get out of prison? Or was it prison or county jail?
jail, prison, both.
But
I went-
remember, hepatitis C didn't kill him.
I understand that, sir, but the person who did this to him might have had hepatitis C, right? Is what you saying?
No, that's just
No.
that's something else they
That's
found.
just another fact that we
And
found out
you
after
can't
he
tell
died.
how long he's had it either.
He
could
didn't
have had
die
it.
from hepatitis
He could
C.
have had
I know
it for a while and us not know it.
Like we said, we don't know. The tear in the anus could have been from injuries. It doesn't necessarily mean that you were having sex with him.
Oh,
There
okay,
are
I know
other,
that.
you know, I'm not saying.
I know I wasn't having little
The
tear in
problem
anus.
is we have evidence, but we don't know because Aaden's dead and you're the only one that knows. So that's why we need to interpret. Do we need to charge him with this? The evidence is showing a torn anus, but there could be an explanation.
Let's get back to the story. Okay, he's standing on the toilet. Is that right?
He what?
He's standing on the toilet
Yes, sir.
before this all happens. And what are you doing?
I was brushing his teeth, sir.
Okay, and what happened?
I turned around to rinse his toothbrush off and he fell over backwards
Okay, where did he land?
in between the toilet and the tub.
Was he face up or face down?
Face up.
Face up, and he was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how long do you think he cried?
Already 15 minutes, sir.
Okay.
10 minutes. I already told you.
Okay,
I mean, understand.
and what did you do next?
I picked him up, and the first thing, Chris heard him crying. The first thing I asked Chris, man, does he look all right? Like Amber even seen him before I put him to bed, man. He was walking around eating a Twizzler. He was all right. He was
You
sitting
said
on the
Amber
couch.
saw that too.
Huh?
You said Amber saw it too.
Amber seen him afterward. After the shower incident, they seen him.
What time was that?
Oh, 8 o'clock, sir. 8, I don't know.
And how did she see him?
She was outside. They were at my
Outside
house.
your apartment?
Outside. They were at Chris's house, but when Chris came down, they came down with him.
He did go to bed injured, and we have evidence of that.
Okay, I know that, but I'm saying,
How did he have blood on his onesie, on his crotch and buttocks? Explain to me that.
he didn't.
You want to bet? You left it in a bag, hanging on the bed.
Whitney took his shirt. Oh yeah, no, the blood. He did have blood in his mouth and on his crotch.
How's
though.
it get? How is
Maybe
it
right here.
covering his crotch?
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh, no.
he would have had to lost every teeth for that much blood to get on his crotch, and his whole crotch is blood, man.
Okay, so where did the blood come from, sir? There wasn't a blood in his diaper or nothing.
Are you kidding me?
There was blood in his diaper.
Are you kidding me?
I
You're
watched
asking me where the blood came from.
You're not listening to me, sir. I'm just trying to. I wanted for myself. I'm asking questions too now.
It's what you did to him. That's what the blood came
What I'm
from.
saying is, if there was blood all
The
over this,
15 minutes of crying and screaming and you yelling, go to bed, and the kids screaming, that's when it happened. You want the answer? That's when it happened. You can shake your head. You know it. And we got the evidence
So
to
if
prove
I
it.
did something to hurt him and there was blood all over the place, you think I'm dumb enough not to throw the...
That's exactly what every one of us said, too. He couldn't be that dumb.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You were panicked. You got a history of violence, but you never took it this far. You never came to murder. And you couldn't think. You were scared to death.
It is a fact, though. You were scared to death.
Rightfully
You know
so.
what? I can see. After what he said just right now, that hit you right there. Okay? I can tell. You know, you're not a stupid person. You're not a criminal. You know, you've got a past, but basically you're a good person inside.
Not no more.
Okay? There's always a chance for you.
It's just a dead man, sir. It's just
Okay.
a dead man walking.
There's always a future. There's always things that can happen. Okay?
There's nothing that can happen.
Okay.
So, at the very least, be a stand-up guy and tell the truth. I mean, what do you got to lose? Either you look like, at least you can say, look, I was a man and I freaking said what happened and I stood up. No one can call you a girl, or you can go to jail, stick into the toilet, sorry, that's fine. But we all know that's not what happened. The jury's not going to think that's what happened. We're going to have a mountain of evidence. But if you tell me, look, this is what happened, this is how he hit his head, look, it just got out of control. I'm not trying to put words in it. I just want to hear what happened. Whitney wants to know what happened. A lot of people want answers. Why did this 2-year-old die? And you're the only one with those. And if I could plead with you, I would, but I don't know if it would work. But a lot of people want answers. And hopefully someday they'll get them. And you're the only one that can do that, man.
I got this ring right here, sir.
Yep.
If I handed it to you right now, nobody knows I'm wearing it. Could you give it back to her? It's her father's.
Yeah, I would do that, man. I'm not here to make your life any worse.
Who's that for?
It's Whitney's.
Let me grab I'll put it in an envelope.
I just want you to give it back to her, sir. I'm asking you to. It ain't gotta be.
To be honest, I think it shows that you're a decent guy. But I'm not. I'll do whatever the.
It's not mine, sir.
I can't prove it because I didn't see it. Only thing I know for sure is this massive head injury, where there had so much bleeding inside his head that when they went to do the exam, his brain practically flew out of the skull because there was so much pressure. Because when you damage especially a child brain, not like I said, this can be just from a fall, is that it swells to the point where it almost explodes.
So they're saying it could be blunt force trauma, but it couldn't happen from a fall.
Well,
just asking.
no, and I'll explain it. It's the toilet's 17 inches high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we took measurements. In fact, you gave me
I
a
gave
that
you
day.
that.
Because of Aiden's height, when he fell back, him falling back, he wouldn't have hit his head. He would actually hit his back. And then he would have, we did experiments and then we did all this. And that's why when I was saying we can disprove that just can't happen. And he had a bruise over here on his eye.
Honestly, that there was not from me, and his
Hi.
mother will attest to that. He got
Okay.
hit in the face with a scooter the day before.
And do you see how easily something like that's explained away?
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, well, I believe you. Okay. How did he have 5 brain hemorrhages in his head? Was he shaking? Go to sleep, Aiden. Or was it, like I said, he could have been shaken too. The injuries, although you think one's an impact and one's just shaking, they have similar diagnoses and symptoms. And the doctor said it's either multiple blunt force trauma or shaken.
So they're trying to say, I'm just asking. When you say multiple blunt force trauma would mean that I punched this kid in his head until he was dead or something to that effect?
Yep.
Without a knot.
I don't want to misquote.
I'm just asking.
I don't want to misquote, so
I
want to look.
that.
I don't want to.
What the doctor said
Okay.
is that the force that this injury occurred, okay, was he compared to as an automobile accident. You know, if you didn't have your seatbelt on, the violent tossing, okay, is that violent? He said, and that's what because he tries to put it on, because I don't understand the medical terms. He said this is about as simple as that I can put it. That violent of an automobile accident, okay. And the trouble is with these injuries is that it's all inside the head. There's no external. Okay, it don't even have to be a big bump or anything, because the bruising's not between your skin and your skull. It's between your brain and your skull in there. It hits there. So the bruising's all on the inside and the bleeding's all on the inside, and it has no place to go. And it continues to swell and bleed, and that's what causes the death. Okay? So you could do something to him and not realize it at first or what happened. When it comes down to it, the pure and simple, Jason, that you're the only person there. Okay? That's the pure and simple of it. I don't think you're a sadistic person that tortured this young child and killed him. Okay? I think it was that you did something that was regrettable, something you shouldn't have done. Because you probably all I can think is you lost your temper for a split second and did something that caused this extreme injury to him. And that's just a simple fact of it. There's really no getting around it. And I don't want you to go to trial or go before a judge and making you look like you're some sadistic animal.
It's gonna happen anyway. Okay.
Everybody can, even though it's against the law, there's no getting around it when when you lost your temper and this happened. But it's a far cry from somebody who just went overboard and tortured a child. Like I said, when they came up with those other injuries, I was totally surprised.
I was shocked.
I was going, what? That doesn't make sense.
Like, okay. I'm saying, how long the tear in his anus? How old was it? That's what I'm.
There's no
the
telling.
Penis. Oh. It could have been like if, say, you grabbed him down there and picked him up forcibly by like his crotch area. It could have been caused
I used to bounce him on my knee all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't. That's what I'm saying.
To be honest,
I'm not far from
the bruised penis didn't kill him.
I know.
Yeah. The injuries to the head. So that's really what we're concerned with.
Okay. But the doctor's still looking at that stuff. He's looking at, because with the tissue samples, they look how deep is the injury and stuff, and that takes a while. So that's why I'm not putting a lot of stock in that. I'm not.
He even said I'm not going to conclude until I do more tests.
Okay, so. He's not going to be done till after this weekend. That's how many hours he's putting into this study. Okay. And like I said, the only thing for sure is the head injury.
I mean, we just want to know what happened. Plain and simple.
Because you can make your. So once you lie, then anything else, no one's going to believe. Okay.
Yeah. So if I change my story now, no one else is going to believe.
What would you? Of course. I mean, obviously you're crying, so you care. So obviously you do care. if you sit here and stand in front of me and tell me, look, this is what happened, why would I not believe you? Like I said, the evidence is going to prove whether your story is the truth.
Do you think I can tell if you're telling a lie or not?
Pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the toilet, we knew you're lying. So I will know if you're telling the truth.
And I didn't even see the physical evidence. Just talking to you, I can
That's
tell.
what you're in here for.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me?
What pieces do you remember?
Enough.
Start with that.
When he slipped and fell, did you pick him up?
Yeah, he was alright, I guess.
Okay. Where did you take him then?
In the room and got him dressed, regular stuff.
Okay. Was he still crying?
Yeah, for a little bit. He really did cry for about 15 minutes though. When he
Okay.
fell. I don't know, Chris will tell you that.
Then what led to the something had to trip you, something had to cause this to happen?
What have you been denying for so long?
I really don't know what happened to the kid's balls. I really don't.
Okay.
Like, to be honest with you.
Take that and throw that right off the table.
I'm just, in general though, like, these accusations, you said you couldn't speak for me, so I'm just saying, like, with his ass and his balls, I don't know.
Okay.
I like to believe that. I'm halfway there.
I just blacked out.
Where did that happen? In the bedroom? Was he in the crib?
At first. Whitney called me and told me to check on him after the fall, because I did call her at work and tell her he fell.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there to check on him, but he wasn't asleep. I didn't care that he wasn't asleep. I wasn't mad that he wasn't asleep.
Did he wet the bed?
No, yeah, I don't remember if he wet. No. I changed his diaper, but he hadn't wet the bed. I was trying to prevent that. She asked me to take his shirt off because it was hot in the house. I told her, man, it's hot as fuck. She's like, man, take your shirt off and change his diaper. He was already up. So I picked him up out the crib. And when I picked him up out the crib, he kind of like, you can ask Whitney, he used to like play with me all the time, and he punched me in the eye, like playing, and I dropped him on his head. And he was all right, I guess. And I was changing his diaper, but I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at him when I dropped him because he punched me in the eye. I was all right, you know what I'm saying? It frustrated me, but damn, I was more worried about like, shit, I just dropped the jit, you know what I'm saying? Like back of his head from 6 feet in the air, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he looked all right. And then I was changing his diaper and it was shitty. So he got up with the poop on him and he tried to run. So I grabbed him by his neck and I, like, you know what I'm saying? I just snatched him back like, goddamn, Aaden, what are you doing? And he fell again, he hit his head. I grabbed him by the front of his leg. I was like, hold on, man, where you going? Don't run, we got shit on you. You know what I'm saying? And he fell and hit his head on the ground again. Boom. And I was like, goddamn, man. And he kept rolling around on the floor like, he wasn't getting shit anywhere or nothing, but he just wouldn't lay still. And I kept yelling at him like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't yelling, go to bed. I was yelling like, you gotta go to bed, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop, man, I'm trying to fucking, all I want to do is get you dressed, stop fucking bucking, you know what I'm saying? And then he started crying because I yelled at him. I don't even remember shaking him that hard.
Did you shake him though? Yeah.
It sucks, man. It does suck. It's sad.
And his eyes were rolling in the back of his head, and I was like, oh shit, hey, come on, man, what's up with you? And he could kind of like, he was all right-ish, not at all. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think, there was no way, man. The first time he hit his head on the ground, though, he fell fucking hard, man.
Was it the changing table on top of
No,
the crib?
No, the floor. Never used the changing table. He was way too big for that. Way too fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
And I originally, I was changing his diaper and I had his hand in my hand, his arms were on top, and I was holding him. And I said, baby, what's wrong with you, man? I said, why you punch me? I wasn't mad at him really, you know what I'm saying? And then when he didn't even cry really from that fall. Like, your man knocked him dumb though, you know what I'm saying? The way he didn't even, cause I could look at him after he fell the first time, man, and he was a little like.
It sounds like what you're saying is that it might have just been the shaking. You know, the fall, he may have been okay. And then I went
back in the room a little later. I went up to Chris's after that, and I was like, I wanted to tell Chris, like, Chris, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if this nigga's doing all right. I just kind of dropped him on. I don't really remember, like, the whole shaking thing. Like, I know I was like, yo, little, like you said, it could have been, I don't know.
Did you pick him up, like, what you said while he was running? Did you pick him up and like, hey, like, kind of, calm down, what are you doing?
No, when he tried to run away from me, I was on the floor, and I just kind of, like, grabbed his leg, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, get back here, and I grabbed and snatched his foot, and it spun, like, it just spun around again, you know what I'm saying? And
like, when you were saying, were you holding him by his arms, or how were you holding him?
Like I said, I had his head like this, and he kept, like, screaming and kicking and pushing me away, and I was like, Aaden, stop! Like, there's no need for that shit, man. I just want to change the diaper, put you to bed, and do what I was doing. And then he stopped.
Even that little bit is, and I believe it. I believe that's right, because even that little bit was a little kick.
It wasn't even really, I can't say it was just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody says, oh, Jason, you know how strong you are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just wanted him to stop crying because I didn't mean to drop him, you know what I'm saying? And when I didn't mean to drop him, but I'm talking about when I grabbed his leg more than anything. Like, dropping him originally, if you poked me in the eye, was an honest to God he hit the floor on accident.
Is it possible when you grabbed his leg, maybe that's how I don't think you sexually abused him.
No,
I've said it from freaking day one.
I touch anyone, a man, let alone a child, it's a man.
But is it possible when you grabbed his leg, that's how maybe it caught, like, like, I'm trying to work with you here. I don't know
what happened with his.
Is it possible that, like, when you grabbed him, that's how, did you grab him by the crotch? That's why I asked how you picked him up. When, at any point.
I never picked him up by his nuts, sir.
But, like you said, you had his head here. Where was his body? When you said, like, his head was here?
Yeah, I had him laid on his back on the ground. I had found after he fell, boom, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even drag him to me, you know what I'm saying? After he fell, I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I picked him up and he was screaming. Yeah, I picked him up off the ground just regularly, you know what I'm saying? I didn't pick him up by his nuts, nothing. I just picked him up and he was screaming. I was like, baby, stop.
So he was laying on his back, and how were you? Were you on like your knees? If he's laying on his back, like, were you like,
originally,
I'm down?
I was like that, and then when he was crying, I went to talk to him, so I got on my elbows, you know what I'm saying? I had his head in my hands, like, yeah, and he was underneath me with his legs, like, spread over my knees-ish, you know what I'm saying?
Did he have his diaper on at that time or no?
Yeah, because I had just the whole changing and he tried to run. I pulled him back over and he was crying. I threw the diaper on him, threw powder on him, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, stop crying. What are you crying for? You want candy? The same thing that got him to stop crying earlier. I couldn't get him to stop crying. And when I was shaking him, I just was like, ah! And I let his head hit the ground again.
It sounds odd, but where'd you put the diaper?
Probably in the poop thing.
Okay, because I saw there was a diaper in the bathroom and then the poop can in the...
Yeah, I think I put it in the poop thing. That's where I pooped out.
So, you said that you did that again.
Yeah, I had my elbows up and I had them like this. I lifted them up to me and I was like, hey, why don't you fucking just stop? And and boom, he hit his head again. And as he was like rolling a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
His eyes were rolling back? Was that the third time he hit his head?
Actually, I'd say the fourth because he really fell in the bathroom.
Okay, so that's okay. And then his eyes started rolling back, and what happened then? Did you put him to bed or?
Lost it. I didn't know what else. I didn't know he was fucked up like that, but I knew I banged his head on the ground, you know what I'm saying, a couple times in the last 5 fucking minutes here, you know. And I just didn't know what to do.
Were you afraid, like, oh shit, like, if I call the rescue or something, I'm done. I'm done. I'm screwed.
Not really. I wasn't. Honestly, I didn't think that I didn't think at all, actually, but I didn't think that nothing that, honestly, in my heart as a father, didn't think anything that, other than the original drop, was far enough to hurt him, sir.
And you're hoping that know that?
Yeah, when I put him to bed, I'm talking about he just stopped crying. He stopped crying. And I was like, okay, you done now? And he kind of like looked up at me. And he wasn't limp or nothing though when I picked him up, you know what I'm saying? He was still kind of squirmy, but he didn't have a full fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just laid him in bed and I was like, yo, do you want your baba? And he didn't even want it.
Do you know what time that was when that all happened?
10
o'clock or so?
ish.
Okay.
Can you walk through like what happened when Whitney got home? Was he on the couch or in the bed?
In the bed. When she got home, he was in the bed.
Okay. Is that where you put him?
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying, after the diaper was changed, I really personally, like I said, there weren't any, I checked, you know what I'm saying, there wasn't a bump or, you know what I'm saying, or nothing like that. So it wasn't like, I did all the routine. I didn't know that, oh, well, if a kid bumps his head and there's no knot, well, most likely the damage is internal, dumbass. You know what I'm saying? They didn't tell me that till the next day.
Well, the one thing that the blood, like I think in a way you could be right about like you didn't see blood, but I'm trying to figure out how he got it. Like he may have been laying there and it could have dripped. I don't know.
Like I honestly, this onesie.
So God's honest truth, you didn't see blood on his face or anything.
No,
just on his.
I didn't see blood on him, and if I did, honestly, at that point, I would have tried to cover it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have. I'm not that scary. You know what I'm saying? I would have tried to cover it up, sir. I didn't know there was any blood until Whitney got home.
Okay.
And the blood on his crotch, sir, I would like to say I hung his onesie over the crib. It wasn't in a bag or nothing. And Whitney was trying to wipe his mouth out with something to try to see in his mouth. So if she wiped his mouth out with the onesie, that's cool. But I didn't put him to bed with no blood. Obviously, there wasn't no blood in his pillow or nothing like that, was there?
That's what I'm saying. Reason I ask is so I can explain it. You know, they'll say to me, well, how does he explain the blood? And it could be that.
I really don't remember what happened with the blood. He wasn't bleeding when I put the blood on the sheets or no, he was not bleeding when I put him to bed. He was fine.
Walk me through what time did Whitney get home?
By 11:20.
Okay, so that's still the same.
Yeah.
She gets out of work at 11 and 20 minutes to get home?
Yeah, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
What happens when she comes in the house?
I met her outside at the car and was like, baby, you might want to go check on him. You know what I'm saying? I went in there earlier to check on him. And she was like, all right, I'll go check. I just knew. When she screamed in the other room, oh my God, he's breathing funny.
What does breathing sound like? Did it sound like?
I don't know. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the room. I was in the other room. I heard it through the monitor. That same monitor I showed you.
You said you knew. When she went to go check, you knew.
I just had a feeling in my heart, you know what I'm saying? And when he was laying in that bed, I didn't think he was dying though, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he might have had a concussion or
sinking feeling.
Yeah, I did. Like I felt all right all night until that girl got home. And she asked me, how's my baby? And something in me was just like, ugh. Like, that's a good question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how he is.
That shows remorse.
And
that shows you're human.
I ain't never beat him and slap him and punch him and all that. That's a goddamn lie, man.
Okay, I just want to explain what's going to happen to you. The charges have to stand for right now.
I know that.
Okay. To do the official charges, they have 33 days. And now that'll be the final charges they'll decide. And we'll show the state attorney what you told us, okay, and explain, you know, this story, okay. Okay, and like I said, medical examiner is still going to be working all this weekend trying to come up with.
I want to know, like,
just on the hepatitis. Do you know anyone with hepatitis?
Do I?
Yeah. Did Whitney ever mention, like, he could have been born with it? Maybe she didn't mention it.
Maybe she has it. I don't know. I might have.
Well, she took a test. The results haven't come back, so we're just trying to explain it. That was kind of like a weird thing. Let me ask you a question.
If Whitney had hepatitis, I've only been back 6 months. I was with her for a year before. You know what I'm saying? No kids, no nothing. She was just a single mom.
Yeah.
I mean, a single woman, you know what I'm saying? No nothing. And I was only back for 6 months. So if she caught hepatitis before that,
see, like, I've been told by a nurse that when she gave birth, if she had hepatitis, she would have known. And if Aaden was born with hepatitis, they would have known.
They would have known, yeah.
Okay. So it had to have been from birth to present. I'm just asking you, does anyone, like, do you know anyone in the immediate that would have contact with Aaden? Because No. And the medical examiner might say, this could have happened this way or that way. I'm not a doctor. I was just asking.
I don't even know how you get Hep C.
I know think it's either sex or obvious. Blood. I think sex or blood.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he doesn't have blood transfusions or anything like that medically.
No.
So
my question is though, like, with his ass and stuff, like, man,
well,
that shit comes back to be months old. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then now again, I said in 33 days that'll all be adjusted. Okay, the major charge is dealing with his death. Okay, the two charges, either the felony first degree murder or the manslaughter.
Does it sound like I murdered somebody?
It's really hard to say.
It's
really hard to say.
Negligent in his death.
Okay.
I'll go for that all day.
Murder's
like to murder somebody.
I don't think you meant. I don't think that like you said, you set out to murder. In this whole scenario, he sustained injuries which caused his death. Okay.
Yeah, but nothing. If I'd have seen a bruise or something, I probably would have been a little bit more like, oh shit, I really fucked him up. But aside from the fact that I couldn't believe all that bullshit that just happened with him, you know what I'm saying? And he was looking like he was looking like.
Yeah, everything happened quick.
I couldn't. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. My only thing is that, again, when the medical examiner gets done with all his findings, that it fits your story right now. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because he said that the head was extreme. Okay. It wasn't just a single bump, because there was so much swelling. And sometimes he may not be able to tell 2, 3, 4, 5. He won't be able to tell. He'll just be tell that the amount, the extreme, the swelling of the head, which means more than just a bump on the head. Like, ooh, I bumped my head.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay. So, like I said, I always try not to make any promises.
I don't want you to promise me.
I try to be upfront.
I just want him to tell Whitney, man.
Well, we'll tell Whitney what you told us.
He knows what to tell her.
Okay. But that, like you said, these warrants will stand for the 33 days, and the state attorney will
decide. I could have left town yesterday, y'all.
But really, you would have been running. You're running, and we're gonna catch up with you. This would have hit it. To be honest, it would have been horrible, because it would have hit that. We would have had to go to the media to find you and say, and it would have been like,
I didn't want my kids to go through none of that.
Yeah, it would have spiraled out of control.
I knew.
So you did the right thing.
I knew that when the medical examiner, I told him when he got done that they were going to see. You know what I'm saying? That there was more to it than what I said, and I just.
Why do you?
Sir, the only reason I lied to you, I'm gonna be honest, is because I didn't want to go right there.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
To be honest, I wouldn't have taken it right there. There was still investigation to do. I don't,
I wasn't sure.
There's always two sides to a story.
I just want to see my kids one more time, sir.
And
I'm sorry, I lied to you.
Oh,
you don't have to.
I almost forgot one more thing we need to do, if you don't mind.
What's that for?
It's a DNA swab. So when we go through the evidence, we see what's Whitney's.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you swab my mouth right now and test me for Hep C without my permission, then
no, this is just DNA.
You still do it though.
No, not hepatitis has to be blood.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, hepatitis is blood.
I still want to take that test anyway. I don't know if I got it, but
yeah. This is just to get your what they call profile.
Is there any way?
Everyone
I know y'all can't promise
chance.
me anything. Is there any way y'all can get me to protective custody in this jail? I just don't want to die tonight.
No, you will be. You will be in protective custody.
You can guarantee me that, sir?
Yes. Well, as far as sexual battery, anytime there's anything with a child, I mean, you've been to jail more than me. You probably know the inside more than me. So, but anytime I've dealt with, I do just sex crimes and child cases. Usually they're in protective custody, automatic if it's crime against child.
I think even on all homicides, I think they put them in solitary for.
I think they put because they may even treat you like you're suicidal, because they just assume it's such that you're in a tough emotional state. So they're going to treat you with 10
If you ever come down to that point, make sure you tell them.
No, I'm good. Listen, I'm not going to kill myself. I got kids. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Everyone
want to
deserves
die
a
too.
second chance in life.
You know, now we got this all out of the way. You know, I don't like to get into religion too much, but there is forgiveness. Okay. Yeah. You need they have chaplains up there. They have Bible studies up there.
I've been there at all. Most of them dudes just go to Bible study because they're just in jail and they want, you know what I'm saying?
Doesn't
You
matter
can
what
get
they're
something
doing.
out of it.
What are you know, it's what you need. If you need to talk to the chaplains on your own, they'll talk to you.
Could y'all do me a favor and not tell PJ?
I won't even see PJ.
Where is he? Did he go to jail?
Wait.
They arrested him.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I really like, sir, out of all the things.
He didn't know about it, and he didn't protect. He wasn't hiding you out, right?
He knew that what happened. He's the one that took me to Orlando Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, but he didn't know that you were a warrant.
No, nobody knew I had a warrant. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, if I knew I had a warrant, I wouldn't have let y'all come knock on the door at whatever o'clock in the morning and just arrest me like that. I would have waited at least a week or two with my kids, you know what I'm saying, somewhere I knew I was safe.
Yep.
And then I'd have went ahead on and turned myself in.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had a warrant. He didn't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Nobody knew. Just yesterday, everything was fine.
We'll talk to him real quick here and decide what to do with him. But
Yeah,
we'll get you
please
back
don't
there,
do
and
nothing to him.
we're going to take care of him then.
Could you find a sock, please, sir? I'm begging you.
I'll see what I can do.
Anything like a
I
sock.
don't know. Let's see.
My foot is so
Let's
cold.
just.
Wow, what a crushing story. So, Jason was sentenced to life in prison. We never really got to the bottom of where all those marks to his sphincter came from, but it seems Jason was pissed off and he got the baby and he just threw the baby over and over again. Classless, skid mark, wanker. Life in prison is the least he deserves. Comment, tell me what you think.